Hey folks, welcome to the latest edition of Notre Dame Daily, brought to you, of course, by FanArch. I'm Pete Mulroy. The 28th edition of the Holy War is set for this Saturday, and as we know, it features two teams headed in different directions, right? We talked about that on the build-up to it. The Irish enter 5-2 with a number 12 ranking and a 5-game win streak, while the Eagles come in having lost their past 7 overall. Additionally, the Irish own a 9-game streak in the series, with the last win for ND coming in 2022 in snowy South Bend. Now, making things more meaningful this time around, especially if you're a Catholic like I am, is the fact that Saturday's game will be played on All Saints' Day, which in Catholicism celebrates all the saints of the church, both known and unknown. And with a game featuring the only two Catholic institutions that still play high Division I football on the FCS level in the NCAA, it does bring about a deeper meaning. As I talked about a few episodes ago, there have been some great contests between Notre Dame and Boston College over the years. To me, that 93 loss in South Bend sticks out. Ultimately cost Notre Dame a shot at a title on the heels of defeating Florida State in the game of the century in that 1 versus 2 battle with Bobby Bowden and Charlie Ward. And while some might dismiss the idea of ND-BC being a true rivalry, I don't. Beyond football, the game means a lot from academic and religious perspectives, and I know many feel the same way. From a football point of view, however, all that's going to matter come Saturday is the final score at the end of the game. For the Irish, they know they need to stack 5 straight wins to end the regular season if they want entry into the college football playoff for a second straight season. And while it is absolutely fine to focus on the football outcome in this one, that's why we have the show, right? There are other significant meanings behind this game that matter to a lot of people, particularly those involved with BC and Notre Dame who are of the Catholic faith. It's going to be a good game regardless. It's always fun when they get together, and it's pretty cool to start the month of November, the two Catholic institutions on the high Division I level playing on All Saints' Day for the first time in 4 years. And in this matchup, with the Irish more than a 4-touchdown favorite. The line was minus 28.5 in favor of the Gold and Blue Wednesday night. The expectation is that ND's going to go into Chestnut Hill and take care of business. I think that's fair. But in order to do that, they'll have to continue to execute and play together. Included in that will not be dismissing their opponents just because of their overall 1-7 record. This week, Marcus Freeman spoke about that, just that, noting that while the Eagles have had their fair share of struggles, injuries, true, and changes at the QB position, as I've talked about this week, have played a role in those losses, a few of which Freeman noted were close games. Those close games, 42-40 overtime loss September 6th for BC at Michigan State, a 10-point loss to Stanford the week after, and then a 28-24 4-point loss at the hands of Cal September 27th. So the close losses are there. Regardless of who Boston College rolls with under center Saturday, more on that exact point in a second, Freeman knows his group needs to be ready, and that's fair. With an offense that averages over 39 points and more than 460 yards per game, a running back who's very much in the Heisman conversation, and a defense that has played physical, communicative, assignment football in recent weeks, everything is there for Notre Dame to continue their run of victories. 5 straight, make it 6 for Marcus Freeman. Making sure his team is focused and not underestimating the opposition will be among his main priorities this weekend. And speaking of that Boston College quarterback situation, while it was expected that Grayson James would make his 3rd consecutive start for BC this weekend, Eagles head coach Bill O'Brien has not made an official decision in that regard. The senior acquitted himself well last week in BC's loss to a top 20 Louisville team, throwing for 244, 3 touchdowns, and he did have 2 INTs. Near the end of the game, though, James did appear to be a tad banged up. In speaking with the media this week, O'Brien noted that there are a few things that are going to come into play into making his decision at who will be under center. Top of mind, of course, is who gives Boston College the best chance to halt its current 7-game losing streak. In keeping the decision, at least for now, between himself and the team, O'Brien will ultimately be deciding between James and Dylan Lonergan, who opened the season as QB1 after winning the job in fall camp, and actually led the nation in passing through the first 3 games of the season. Lonergan's tossed for over 1,300 yards in his appearances this season, 9 scores, 3 interceptions. The other side of that is James, passing yardage mark of 668 in 2 appearances with 6 passing scores against 3 picks. A third option potentially, and I'm going based off of who's seen the field this season, Shakir Reisig, a freshman from Tulsa, Oklahoma, could be getting consideration. Rising appeared in losses to Pitt and Clemson this season, completed 6 of 13 passes, 89 yards, 1 score, 1 interception, and picked up 9 yards on 5 carries on the ground. So you've got options there. Ultimately, it'll be between James and Lonergan. We know that. Riesig in there, potentially with Bill O'Brien, trying to get a good look at what the future might look like here for Boston College while trying to halt a 7-game skid against a top 15 team. Not easy. So for now, we'll continue to track any developments or announcements concerning the starting BC signal caller this weekend. And to me, if James is healthy to go, I ultimately think he'll get the nod once again. Marcus Freeman even noted this week in pressers that there seemed to be a spark that was had with the Boston College offense the last couple of games since James took over the starting role. Now, whether or not he's going to be fully healthy enough to give it a go at home November 1st, that remains to be said. We're going down the wire here. But again, from my perspective, and just trying to read between the tea leaves based on what O'Brien has said and based on what we've seen recently from the Eagles, I would say if James is healthy enough to get out there and go under center, I ultimately think he will be the guy that Bill O'Brien elects to go with. Either way, like I said in the previous segment, Marcus Freeman's bunch is going to have to be prepared, and he doesn't want them getting lax and just looking at the opposition's record, because whoever lines up there, 11 on 11, you got to be ready to roll. And you talk about being in attendance for a nice fall football game. Calendar flips to November. Let's wrap today's show with the weather report, and one that looks completely different from 2 weeks ago in South Bend, where the Irish battled USC, gloomy, chilly, and wet Notre Dame Stadium. This Saturday in Chestnut Hill, the forecast is expected to be beautiful. A beautiful fall day for football to start a new month. A high of 56. It'll be between 50 and 55, probably right around game time. Temperature is outstanding for a football game. Manageable 15-mile-an-hour winds, less than 50% chance of cloud cover. That, according to the Weather Channel, is also in the forecast. The best part, 0 precipitation expected, night and day, literally, from 2 weeks ago in South Bend. So it appears we'll have a perfect weather day when two rivals meet in the 28th edition of the Holy War on All Saints Day. Pretty spectacular. For now, have a great rest of your day. See you all tomorrow. We'll wrap the week. And as always, go Irish.